All right, so we're gonna go live.
Okay.
Okay, and we are live. What's up, everyone? This is Ryan here, and you're watching Crypto Grinders. And today we have the team from Monaize, the CEO, Vincent Rajoo, and UK strategist and business development, Robert Miller. Sorry about that, Robert Miller. So, guys, thank you so much for coming down from the show. It's 3 p.m. in Paris. What has been going on with your project? And of course, we would really be very, very curious to find out more about the both of you. How do you all come into this space? What got you interested in cryptocurrencies? And last but not least, what problems are you going to solve in this industry? So maybe we can start off with Vincent first. Vincent is the CEO of Monaize. Hi there, Vincent. How's everything?
Hello. I'm fine. Thank you very much for inviting us, and we're glad to be here live with you on YouTube.
Yep. Thank you so much, Vincent. So please share a little bit about yourself. You have been in the startup space for quite some time, in the FinTech space for quite some time. And, we would like to know more, a little bit about your background before you took on as the CEO, the role of the CEO in Monaize.
Okay. Basically, I'm more like was involved in in quite a lot of startups before. And my first startup was quite some time ago, in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
So it's prehistory for some people. And the last startup that I was implemented in was a hotel reservation solution with online payment integrated. That was one of the first to be doing it, and it was sold about a few months ago to the French Accor group.
Right.
So it's called a GoPro, and since then I was just investing in startups, and I've got about maybe 5-10 startups that I invested in. That's certain of it that I'm really interested in, and certain of them are just because I'm in love with one of the products they're doing or things like that.
So you're somewhat like an angel investor.
Yeah, I'm just a passionate person with entrepreneurs and startups who got ideas and who I share some ideas with and things like that. So and one time it came to me that that we got to do something really different in terms of what's going on in the financial world. And I was seeing that in France especially, big banks got practically a total control on everything that's going on in the financial world.
Okay.
And I was asking some of my friends what they were thinking about it, and I said, "What do you think about banking?" And most of them had said to me that it's just impossible. You can't do that. It is it's a huge market, and so more people tell me that it was impossible. More I had the intention of going to this sector of activity. So that's how the idea came on launching Monaize. And I was already at that time in very good relationship with Guillaume, who's our CTO,
right?
Who comes out from a very high-end engineering school, computer engineering school in France, and he's sort of a genius. And and so we had some ideas, and he was doing already something for me in some of my activities, in my startup activities. And then so I said, okay, come, let's do this together. And he was so excited, and we started our FinTech journey together. And then finally we had more people joining us because they were so fascinated by what we were doing. And then we had Robert joining us too with the same intention. I mean, everyone who came into the company came out of passion rather than just wanting to do something. So everyone came in with this excitement, with this energy in it. So and we managed to come up with this small team of 7 people, and came out with this bank. And it's quite a lucky journey we had, because we had a very good banking license partner that we had. It's called PFS, Prepaid Financial Services. And we are one of the rare startups that got a very good relationship with its partner. PFS invested quite a lot to have their banking license in France for us. And we have a 5-year contract and with PFS for the banking license. So a 5-year contract for a startup is practically very, very rare, because this big e-banking license partners, they don't have that type of relationship with with startups. They do small-term contracts, 1 or 2 years. And just because they also loved what we were doing, so they went for a longer partnership, and because they also invested money to get the license and things like that. So it's more like a long-term partnership with our banking license.
Okay.
And we've got a shared revenue based on terms of clients, and that's something also very interesting, because we can scale. When we go bigger, we pay more, and we haven't got lots of clients, we pay less. So that's quite good for a young startup like us.
Sure. We'll get into that a little bit later. So the most important thing, Vincent, I want to ask, when was the first time you bought your first Bitcoin?
My first Bitcoin? Wow. It's just a lucky thing. But maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago. And until now, have you been investing in Bitcoin, or you've literally focused more on the FinTech side, the blockchain technology side?
So some time ago, someone said to me that, am I the surfer or the one who's building the surf? And I said to myself, and I said to the person that, no, I'm either the surfer or either the surf builder. I build the wave that people surf on.
Nice. Okay. All right.
So blockchain, for me, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies are all, cryptocurrencies is the surf builder. It's just the surf. Okay.
Right.
I want to be the wave. That's the blockchain. Right. Okay. Right. So that's cool. What I want to do. Blockchain. Okay. Right. So that's my idea of building the wave.
All right, Vincent. Sounds good, man. So we are gonna see Monaize create waves, guys. Okay. So Robert, now you're young, aspiring, and gonna be building up the UK region. Now, please share a little bit about yourself, Robert.
Yeah, so I've been involved in technology since 2011. I first started working for a big technology firm back in 2011. It was a corporate, right? So we were selling workforce management solutions. Did that for 2 years. I did very well there. We had a very good team. We had a lot of success, but I wasn't, long term. I was always destined for something which allowed me to have a greater role in what was happening from a strategic perspective. So I went from there to a sort of $1 billion company to a much smaller startup based in Copenhagen, an amazing growing startup at the time, still is now, Trustpilot, and really managed to get some really good sort of business acumen, some great sales and marketing experience, and general sales consulting experience. Did that for around a year or so. I had the plan to sort of go to, I wanted to live in another country as well. I was living in Paris at the time. Wanted to go and live in another European country, did that, came back to Paris, worked for another startup. But then for about a year and a half now, I've been involved in a number of startups for about a year and a half now, either advising or, while helping them put in place their sales and marketing strategy and things. So the other thing I did previously was working for an avatar-based fitting solution, but apart from that, I've been advising various different startups in Paris and whatnot, notably to do with how they can, how they can expand internationally. I'll do one of two things. I'll either help an Anglophone company, sell into the French market or into the Francophone market, or I will help French companies or Francophone companies expand internationally. And that's obviously,
And what is so through your experience, right? What is the number one problem that most startups face based on your experience and based on your expertise?
The number one problem that startups face, based on my expertise, lack of focus, I would say.
So they're lacking focus. So I mean, usually they seem to be able to raise money, but what causes them to lose focus, especially when they've already got the money, and then after that they have to start hiring for marketing and whatnot and penetration into the market. So they lose focus because they are not able to complete their product, or I mean, based on your experience, of course. Yes.
General focus in the sense that you need a strong vision, a strong product, but notably a strong team, and the team needs to work well together. So if and for me, it's very important that the team ultimately is focused on growth, right? And it's important the team is focused on everything we can do, be it from an innovation perspective, be it from a marketing strategy perspective, be it from a purely sort of operational perspective. We all ultimately need to be focused on growth. Sorry, and sometimes it's the focus can move away from that for too long, right?
Right.
Obviously, that's the biggest one of the biggest reasons why startups can fail.
Okay, so now share with us. Share with us a little bit about what Monaize does in a short 1-minute pitch.
You want to say that, shall I? We make banking easy for freelancers and small businesses. And ultimately, we reply to a huge problem, which is that small businesses and freelancers have been underserved by the banks. The banks are focusing on two things, which is the consumer market, because it's easy. It's people like me and you. We need a bank account, a card, and if we need any kind of loans or anything, it's for one or two things: either to buy a car or to do home improvements, right? So it's very simple. Everybody needs the same thing. And then big business is also easy to focus on. Or to put our energy into, because ultimately, if you're a bank manager at IBM, a bank manager, and your client is IBM, you'll do anything to make sure that IBM's happy, because they're bringing in enormous amounts of revenue for you. When you're dealing with small businesses and freelancers, they've all got very diverse, very different needs, and we have found the solution, which is a technology-focused approach. We focus on technology in order to personalize things. We focus on innovation to make things to provide the best possible services, and therefore we're able to do something that the traditional old school banks are not able to do.
All right, let's start from the top here. So basically, right, the enterprise banking is the ones that the banks always love to serve, and then after that it comes down to the retail customers, which is very straightforward. And you're saying that the problem that Monaize is trying to solve is to provide banking solutions or products for for freelancers. That means I'm assuming sole props, right? You're referring to sole props. That means they are individual companies. Individuals or SME, right? Because SMEs usually tend to have no profits, right? Sometimes they start off, they may have very little to no profits. There's very little books, basically, no auditing as of now. So they are finding it very hard to get loan facilities, I assume. So when you guys are going through your KYC process, what are the criteria? Say I am a small medium enterprise, okay, and I'm approaching Monaize. What's the process and what's the procedure like?
Okay, so the procedure, the banking procedures in Europe are quite difficult. And so we even our banking license partner wanted us to use their KYC solution that took about 5 days before our clients can get approved.
Okay.
And there was already an outside that we said that it's practically impossible, and we couldn't go through it. And we wanted our client to have a real customer experience. So what we did was I was already looking at other different KYC solutions that were in the market and how we can improve those solutions and things like that. And PFS and MasterCard allowed us to go see a third party to do the KYC, but they wanted us to introduce the third party and then give their approval if we can use them for the KYC process for opening an account. and we introduced them to Contigo, and we asked Contigo for the company check, for the personal check, and for the identity card verification or passport verification services. Okay. So there are 3 things that are going to be verified when you open an account. 1, your passport or identity card. 2, your proof of address. I mean, it can be a utility bill or anything like that. And 3, we ask for your company number and company address,
registration, basically. Registration,
so,
business registration number. Okay.
So Contigo gets through LexisNexis, the company registration, which is the largest company information the provider in the world, and it's a US company. LexisNexis gets the verification if the company is really registered in the given country. And then Contigo verifies the identity card or the passport in the French administration to verify if the passport and the identity cards are really given in the given country. Okay. And then they do a person check on the Interpol files to find out if the person got
records and whatnot, criminal records and whatnot.
Exactly.
Okay.
Once these 3 process goes through, we get a green light because everything's okay.
And all this can be done in 5 minutes.
Yes. Because so we put in place a technology that goes, LexisNexis go verify. We send three information to 3 different people, and every information comes to us, and then we get the verifications done. And once it's verified, it takes between 30 to 90 seconds to be verified.
Wow, okay? That's actually very impressive.
So once we verified, PFS sends us the IBAN, and then we just declare the IBAN to our client, and automatically the card is sent to the client. The business card, the MasterCard is sent to the client automatically. So all this process was done in an automatic way. So now, even for Contigo, what we're doing is we are user case for Contigo for their clients. We are user case for PFS for their clients because they know what we're doing is quite complicated.
To come back to your earlier question, I think that once again, to compare to traditional banks, a small business person goes into a bank, a freelancer, a plumber, a baker, a consultant working for a large firm, and immediately the bank manager is asking themselves, okay, I can open an account for you, but then would I also be willing to lend you money? Now, we don't care about the second question. We open the account and we don't filter. We don't need to filter, right? Because they're paying their subscription for the year. They're getting their account services, their card. And then third-party partners are coming in and providing other services such as, peer-to-peer payment, finance, payment solutions, and insurance. So we're not wondering about all the other things that we need to provide them with. We're working with partners in order to do that.
Right, because I was about to ask the secondary question, which is what financial services are you all providing in terms of lending, keyman insurance and whatnot? And those are obviously third party based on your current platform, and you're going to integrate them to your platform. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now if you're saying that it's going to be easy for me to open an account, now would there be any because opening an account is actually one of the most important things to start off with, especially in a business. Now it comes down to the next portion. That means you guys are only just a account opening platform. Is there anything else in terms of USP that you all are able to provide as well?
Okay, so we consider ourselves, or there's a generic term for it. It's called BaaS, Banking as a Service. So we are reinventing banking. If you ask someone today to say, how am I going to see my banker tomorrow? He says, you put it in the internet and it's the bank of tomorrow. Okay, that's so simple for us. Okay, technically speaking, we are just building a platform, and just like a Lego brick, we integrate services and partners to that platform. And below, we give it to our client, integrating all the data we can get from all our partners and give it in a mobile phone to our clients, so that our clients do not have to go to 5-10 different providers. one by one, log in and get those informations.
Right.
And second, okay, that allows us also to go through a KYC process in a quick way. Means that we can share our KYC with all our partners. So our clients do not have to do KYC everywhere. And that is also an advantage for users. And on top of it, all our partners, we negotiate preferable costs and pricing so that our clients benefit better pricing rather than going straight to them, to our partners.
Right. So it's like if I was, say, I open an account under Monaize's annual subscription, and then from then, if I'm looking for lending facilities or I'm looking for insurance, all these things are under one umbrella, and definitely there will be preferential rates for, especially for lending. So, care to share a little bit about who are your existing partners then on this platform? Yeah.
Yes, of course. So, in terms of banking, we've got PFS, we've got Wavecrest, who's also a e-banking license partner. Mm-hmm. We've got Wirecard. That's also something very advantageous because we are not a unique banking partner provider. We got multi-license. We are the only one that can operate with 3 different licenses. Multi-license.
We're not exclusive.
We're not exclusive to one banking license. Today, all the banks just got one license. They are mono-license banking services.
Sure.
Okay. So we've got multi-license. That allows us to scale up and give people services in a country with a local IBAN. It's very difficult today for a European actor to provide a service in the UK because the UK is a different banking license. Mm-hmm. And it's a different procedure. It's a different whole thing. It's not the same as the SEPA region. Okay. And that's why we are trying to show technologically how our platform is very flexible. Okay, that's for the banking. We've got a very good partner that's called Bitbond. That's for what we call, maybe we call it overdraft, intelligent overdraft, in a sense that we can put algorithm behind our account of our clients so that we can understand his spending attitude and his incomes. And then we can push to him messages saying that if you need 2,000 euros, just click here and we can push him the 2,000 euros.
Okay.
And that's an overdraft. Okay. If you're taking 2,000 in 30 days, we say, okay, if you pay, you can pay that in 30 days, 2,030 euros. Okay. And we push you that info. And if you say yes, we push you the money. Okay. So those are the services. We do it in a way that our client don't even need to ask his bank, can I have an overdraft, please? You don't have to ask. We push you the message because we put AI bots behind that can understand your attitude and spending and then push your messages. Okay.
So your spending algorithm.
Exactly.
Yeah, your spending algorithm. Okay. And
we can understand all that. Sure.
So is this currently, so I understand that usually most ICOs start off as central first. But in this case, because you're already building on top of Komodo as one of their asset chains, are you guys planning to have any functionality for your tokens? Because you have your Monaize tokens. So maybe care to share a little bit about how the Monaize tokens is being incorporated into your ecosystem.
So the Monaize token for the moment we give loyalty rewards for those who are holding tokens for more than 16 days in a month. Okay. Knowing that the Komodo blockchain is programmed to give automatically those rewards to the Komodo holders. Okay. So it's an automatic process. And just because it's a Komodo platform, that's why the loyalty rewards are given in Komodo. We can do it in Bitcoin or we can do it in Monaize, but it won't go on automatic. It will go on manual.
Okay.
Because it's a Komodo platform.
Right.
So that's the reason why the loyalty rewards are given in Komodo.
Okay.
Okay. And another thing for that also, Komodo has got also a royalty reward in its program. It's an annual 5% income on the Komodo crypto.
Okay, and where does this 5%, how is this 5% generated?
It's the Komodo program. It's Komodo is giving all their holders 5% of interest.
This is a Komodo. This is something that all Komodo holders get, right? They've got a natural 5% yearly
income.
Loyalty reward. Basically, it's a bit like staking, but you don't actually have to stake. You don't need to run the client. It's automatic. So just by holding Komodo on your private wallet, automatically you're receiving yearly rewards of 5%.
So
nice.
you're getting two rewards. One from Monaize, monthly reward,
right.
And then you get annually reward for Komodo. So it's a double reward.
Double reward. And the monthly reward, how is it roughly calculated? Based on the subscription base? Because I see based on that revenue, are there going to be revenue streams coming in from your partners as well? So for example, if you tie up with 3 insurance companies, 2 lending companies, and whatever other services, is there, do they have to pay you as well to be part of your platform? Do these partners?
Yes, they kick back commissions based on what they're earning, between 20 to 40% of what they're earning.
Okay.
They kick back commissions to us.
Nice.
And that's the reason why we are so competitive in the market, because
and you can give monthly.
We can give 1 monthly fees. Second, we can even go lower in our banking costs. If we want to go to a market and we just want to be hyper competitive, because we are earning money from the other services, so the banking can just be free if we need it, if needed. Okay. So that's the reason why we are different based on other banking services and new banks in the market right now.
Okay. So so for this account, as you say, let's say I just opened an account, I'm convinced I'm going to sign up for your platform. All right. So what kind of banking facilities am I able to get? So I have the account, I have the card. Will I be able to have access to fiat, or is this just token based?
Okay, the bank account is fiat based. Okay. Depending on the country, it's in pound in UK, it's in euro in France, it will be in dollars in the US and things like that. So we are operating based on the local law that's in the country. Okay. And we partnered with Komodo just because we've got all these crypto and blockchain services that we can offer to our clients. So in the same platform, we're going to add crypto wallets, atomic swaps, barter decks, and all the services that we get with Komodo, making sure that if our client are going to send, and you were saying just now, what are we going to use with the Monaize token and how can we make it? So tomorrow we can say to our clients, okay, if you are trying to send money from Europe to US or to Singapore, what we can do is we can say, hey, if you're sending traditional fiat to this country, it's going to cost you exchange rates and things like that. It's going to cost you €1.50, €2. But if you want to do it in crypto, it's going to cost you 0.05 cents.
Right.
So you choose what you want to do. And in doing so, we educate our clients to the crypto world, because it's going to become cheaper. It's going to become easier for them to do it. And more we go in that service, more our clients are going to be used to crypto, blockchain, and all the services that we can provide through Komodo.
Right. And so, so basically, so there's a question from the audience. Jimmy Y is asking basically, what's the reward? Being that Komodo is providing a reward of 5+%, what's the reward from Monaize?
So Monaize is a monthly reward based on number of clients we have.
Okay.
Renewal or clients who sign in.
Okay.
And we give a monthly reward based on that. So the more we have clients, the more our token holders will earn.
It will increase over time. So we've got projections. It increases over time. The figure to bear in mind is that by 2021, we'll be paying around $2.5 million per month as a total reward. So depending on the number of tokens that you're holding, you can sort of calculate how much that is monthly, basically.
Right.
So we have
that's based on conservative projections.
Okay. So yeah, because it has to be based on the number of subscriptions and renewals that you get, right? Ultimately, and
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you guys have not officially kicked off, so it's hard to give you these kind of numbers, right? Okay, so now,
we are starting the first trimester of 2018. So in 2 months, 2-3 months, we'll be giving our rewards in 2-3 months. So that's we're starting the year with our rewards. So we are projecting to give rewards straight away. We want all our token holders to know that this is just not a white paper thing. It's a real product, a real bank with regulations, very strict. And it's not because of token holders. We also got partners like PFS, our other partners that we're working with, Bitbond, with insurance companies, and all those people. They got a lot of confidence in what we're doing. We can't allow ourselves just to just say that okay, it's finished, and because no, these people are expecting a lot from us. I'm not just talking about a token holder. I'm also talking about the partners we have. We've got a real long-term relationship. So we really got to scale up, do something really wonderful, and really change the way what we say banking was. I mean, banking was something different, and now we're going to really bring it to a different world. And we can afford to do that just because we are not today. We've got no investment coming from any private investors or any banks or
corporate
any
investors,
nothing. We do not have. The only investors we're going to have is our token holders.
Nice. So it's literally going to be the public, right?
Exactly. And that's how we want to change the banking. The public is going to change the banking.
Yeah.
We can't depend on the traditional people or the investors to change the banking because they are going to look for the money. But we want to change it profoundly with the technology that we have today.
That's one of the reasons why I also say the figures are ambitious but conservative, in the sense that when you realize that you've got literally thousands of people following you, right? The thousands of people in Slack and Telegram, in our email subscriptions, Facebook, Twitter, and stuff like that, and then they become token holders. It starts to give you an understanding as to the speed at which you can move internationally. Right, we're receiving messages from all over the world, from Panama, from Korea yesterday morning, speaking to future token holders down in South Korea, in Seoul, in Singapore, in South Africa, in Australia, all over the world, basically. And these people ultimately they're like-minded people, right? They think like me and you. And we're realizing the extent to which they're going to help us move forward. We've got another person coming tomorrow morning, a guy that literally got involved in the project 2 weeks ago. He's over in Rotterdam in Holland. He's coming over first thing tomorrow morning to the office. He is going to be, we hope, involved deeper in the project, and that's something that a traditional fintech player cannot do. It's something that the likes of Revolut or N26, which we're often compared to, Simple over in the United States, other fintech players just are not in the same position as us. In one, they haven't got their own asset chain, so they're not in blockchain technology, and two, they haven't got this enormous bunch of token holders, which are ultimately, have a huge vested interest in ensuring that the project is successful.
And knowing that today, most of the fintechs, like you've seen, like you said, Revolut and Monzo, that is a UK player. Monzo just took yesterday probably $100 million investment for a neobank that's just going to operate in the UK, just one country. And they just took from traditional investors. There's Orange. That is the telecom company that invested in it. There's Stripe that invested in it. So they are taking traditional investors. They're taking a lot of money and just to operate in one country with one license. Okay, so you can imagine how. Monzo is about 40, 50, or maybe more than that people. Okay, then just put that in your mind and say, how can a 7-person company manage to come up with all this technology, okay, and providing this in a platform that can scale up globally? That's how we are so innovative in what we're doing. So we're trying to push this in a very nice way. And that's why we prefer saying that we are not going to take any private investment. And we can, I mean, we've got people knocking at our door saying that, can we invest in your company? And we're talking not small people, I mean, big banks. Big banks came see us to invest in our company. Big banks even tried to buy us off. Okay? So they want, because they know that we are trying to do something.
The problem is that when you partner with these people, you stop innovating and you start submitting, basically. So if you get a former banker from said bank that comes over, he comes into the company, right? Puts some money in, takes 20% of the company, takes a board position, and then we have a meeting at some point and we say, listen, we need to find payment solution providers. The first thing he's going to say is, oh, that's fine. I've got a friend of mine who I play golf with, known him for 20 years. And we're going to sign an exclusive contract with them, and they'll be our only partner for the next 20 years or so. And by doing that, he's obviously keeping his community of people very happy, but ultimately he's slowing down both innovation and our ability to grow. And we'd much rather stay partner agnostic and innovative. We'd much rather focus on being on innovation as opposed to the small-minded sort of targets and objectives as traditional investors that might come into the company.
Right. Okay. So your platform, does it allow innovation in the sense that if, let's say, there are developers who are open to come and help you improve your platform, is that an option?
We've got Robert was insisting in it. This was his idea. Yeah. So he's got all the merit for it. So he insisted that we got to have a bounty program for developers. And we've got a bounty program for developers in what we are doing in our fundraising, so that people can put more blockchain technology into what we're doing, and people can developers can come into it and give their ideas how we can improve our products or services, or in any area that we think that the blockchain can be put into. And we are very open to it. And just because we are a small team, and that's how we managed to find people like Komodo who came in and putting all their technology at our disposal. And it's practically impossible to just call GL77 or CA33 and say, come work with me. Okay, GL77 or CA33 they will never go work to anyone. But they're so nice with us that they're doing everything they can for us. And CA33 is in office right now. So just to show that people are putting so much energy into it, and bringing technology, and that's how we try to scale and do things intelligently, because we've got people who really follow us. Because we want to have the same spirit with our token holders. We want real token holders. We want people who really understand, and we welcome all our token holders to come see what we're doing, because we really want to show them we're so proud of what we're doing. So we want to show them what all the things we're doing.
Right. In terms of, okay, so now let's talk about the marketing efforts, because this project, like I said, it's very practical, that's for sure, and I appreciate for the fact that it's decentralized. But how much in terms of efforts, in terms of marketing, are you guys gonna go into? Because being that I would say that it's pretty bootstrapped based on what I'm hearing. How are you going to compete when it comes down to projects that are similar, who are willing to incentivize more to their token holders, or in terms of presence they may have equal to or the same in terms of a banking license and whatnot? How are you going to provide that competitive edge? So maybe from so let me put that in perspective. One, from a product and services perspective. Two, from a marketing perspective, right? Because you mentioned that you're really allowing the community, being that majority, because most ICOs always have at least a certain amount of institutional backers to prevent people from dumping, which it will happen, right? Because it will happen. People just basically take the tokens, especially if you're talking about retail here. They're so used to flipping. So institutional backers do play their part in terms of at least committing for an X period of time to prevent the price from dropping too much. Now, on your end, right, being that you're going to allow majority of your fundraising to be from the public, which can be a double-edged sword. So it can turn out very, very well, and everyone is enthusiastic about your product and services. And of course, being that it's built on Komodo, probably there's going to be carrying it some community weight from there. But so what is your competitive edge that you think that you are going to have, or what kind of problems that you might even have? Because like what I'm hearing, I think there are going to be more and more projects that are going to be doing around the same things as you guys. So, it's just putting it out there. And I think everyone probably feels the same way. So maybe let's start with Robert.
Yeah. I would say the biggest difference with us is, or the biggest competitive edge from a product perspective or a platform perspective,
yes,
is the speed at which we are able to expand internationally, because we're partner agnostic, because we're not married to a banking partner. Literally, it's that technology focused approach. It's taking the technology and taking it into different countries, as opposed to what's been happening traditionally, which is taking the business model, the financial based business model, and then trying to take it into different countries, but realizing that when you want to go from the UK into France, for example, it's going to cost you literally tens of $millions just to get the licenses you need. We don't need those licenses because we partner with the people who've already got them in each country, right?
Smart. Yep.
That is, I would say, our biggest USP, our biggest advantage. It's that ability to expand quickly internationally. Yes, it's competitive for sure, definitely. The UK market, for example, we've got a particular competitor over there who are working on the small and medium-sized businesses. They're doing pretty well. They're shooting literally an open goal, as they described it, because the traditional banks just can't compete in the same way. It's about putting in place an extremely aggressive marketing strategy, both on and offline. So things like guerrilla marketing. So focusing, for example, on particular cities within a certain country. So we're looking at Bristol. I don't want to give too much away in terms of the marketing strategy.
Yeah, of course. But from the very get-go, what can we expect to see? Because we need to excite our token holders. Because if we're going to be buying, right, at the end of the day, we need to know what is in place. So what can you reveal to us?
Okay.
Give them a bit of a teaser, please.
Okay. The most important right now, what the investors got to understand is just that building a platform today, a banking platform, it's just taking API from a banking partner and then just giving the data to a client.
That's right.
That's what most of the people are doing. And that's what all the neobanks are doing right now. And then they get this partner and then they said, okay, we'll add your service and we give it down. We are not that. That is what we call a sort of a pool, where that's the banking pool, and they just plug a player into the pool. And if you take out a pool, the whole thing crumbles down. Okay, that is the neobank approach that we have going on around the world today. Okay, that's why you don't see a neobank player in France playing in the UK, or a UK player playing in the US, or US player playing in Singapore, because all bankings in each country is difficult and very regulated.
Yes, in Singapore, it's very hard to get a banking license.
Okay,
there's no way in hell you're gonna get a banking license in Singapore right now.
Okay,
even if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, it's not easy. Yes.
So it's highly regulated. Okay. So what we're trying to do right now is just to prove that we are not this pole thing. We are vertical. I mean, we're not vertical, we are horizontal. Okay. So we just plug, and if we can't use your services in this country, we'll put another local player to play with this for this service. For people that can grow up, we go up. And another thing, certain partners that we think that are strategic good enough for us, okay, we sign exclusive deals saying that they can't go work with other partners, can't work with other licensed partners and things like that, other banks and things like that. So in that sense, we are also blocking a lot of things with our partners. So, and we do not have just one partner. We are sort of a marketplace.
Right.
For the same product, you can have 3 different people proposing the same product with 3 different pricing, with 3 different sort of extra services they can provide. So our clients can choose who's the best. If you are sending, just say, if you want to take payments from Singapore and you're a French company, we can say to you, okay, you can use Mango Pay, you can use Lemonway, and you can use Click and Pay. Okay, Click and Pay is going to say, for Singapore, my cost is this. But in Lemonway, it's going to give you a different cost, and Mango Pay is going to give you a different cost.
Right. So it's something like if you were to book hotels, right? And then after that, there's booking.com, you have Agoda, okay. So it will be a list. Okay. That's in fact something really good.
We're often considered as a marketplace, right? We're often considered like a marketplace for financial services for small businesses and freelancers. And we're talking a lot of partners, right? We're not just looking for a few partners, we're looking for a lot of partners that are plugging in. The problem that you can have there is that if you've got too many payment solutions, then it can be annoying for the account owner, right? Because if they have to choose between 100 different payment solutions, that can be annoying. And that's where you bring in personalization. You ensure they're not seeing everything. They're only seeing the 3-4 different solutions that are most pertinent to their particular needs.
And we also try to work with the major players in the market. We do not want to go top. I mean,
what are the current services available from the very get-go after the ICO, or even right now? What are the services available? I think the ones who are having SMEs will be very, very interested to find out. And by the way, your platform is international, or it's currently restricted to the Euro region at the moment? So So say the restrictions first, and after that, what are the product providers or the providers that you all have as of now?
Okay, we're starting in France because France got the toughest regulations in banking, and there's a language barrier. So starting the country with high regulations, language barriers, providing banking service is complicated. So if we do it here, so we're going to go France, UK with Robert, and then next year, Germany. Okay, this is the 3 biggest economy in Europe.
Yes. Correct.
And then we go to the US so that we can show how flexible this platform is, working in 4 most biggest economy in the world with the most regulated banking services. If we can operate in 4 countries with the biggest economy and biggest regulation, so what can stop us going to another country with, lesser regulation and lesser competition? Nothing.
All right.
So But that won't stop us going to other countries if we find opportunities in an easy way. Because scaling for us is very simple. Because the platform is all built. It's an Amazon, one place, and we can scale to the world. So we do not have a problem in that sense. So all we have in each country is just a marketing team, a small marketing team. We do not need to have people, technical staffs, or anything like that. It's just marketing. Like in the UK, Robert, maybe they're going to be 3 of them. That's all. And UK is even bigger than France in terms of SMEs. So that shows how our mentality is. We can go to US and we still just be 3 people in the US. We do not need a lot of people. In Germany, we may just be needing 2 or 3 people. So each time we go to a country, we don't need to have that big staff. We just need to focalize on marketing, give the good service, and we know that technically the platform can handle and can scale up. That's the difference that we have between us and our competitors.
Okay, so what are the services that are being provided at the moment on the Monaize platform?
So Monaize platform for the moment got the French banking services and the UK banking services. We are going on live in France in the coming days. We got some beta testers using our services already, and we're going live, full live with our French clients in a few days. We'll also be going live in the UK. Robert will be attacking somewhere around end of this year. So we'll have some beta testers, and then we'll go live beginning next year in the UK too. So that's the banking services. The partners are all now coming into the platform because we just pushed the banking, and now we're integrating the partners. So first trimester of 2018, we'll be having mostly 3 banking. We will have the payment services, the overdraft services, and insurance services for our clients.
Okay, and so your platform is going to be probably one of those platforms that is going to be built very, very much organically. So so when does your token sale actually start?
So the Komodo team is here in our office. We are planning to launch it at tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, 12 p.m. GMT. So we are finalizing all the process with the Komodo team.
Right.
They are at the office right now. So we have all the programs will be launched after this conversation.
Okay, and so currently now, just more on a general perspective, with the recent recent cancellation of Segwit, there's no more Segwit 2x. Do you see a shift in terms of the overall market in terms of cryptocurrencies? Do you think that your token will actually fare well, especially once it hits the exchanges? And also, are you guys going to be providing as much liquidity for your token as much as possible, especially those who are holding your tokens?
It's so the Segwit question is very speculative. I personally thought yesterday when Segwit was cancelled that Bitcoin would begin to drop. Perhaps it still will do, but for the moment it seems quite stable. Most people would assume that cancellation of Segwit would be favorable for ICOs, right? Because the fact is that people were holding on to their Bitcoin to see if they could potentially benefit in the same way that people did back in August. When there was another fork and people got two versions of two different two coins and ultimately did quite well. So will it be better for I'm assuming it will. I'm assuming it will be better generally for coins. Concerning the second question, could you be more specific when you say will you be providing liquidity? What do you mean by that?
Because at the end of the day, we are still in a very highly speculative market, and people are still not so much on the long-term investor. I mean, they're not long-term investors, especially for this space. You're looking at age 24 to 35 years old, not having much liquidity, and they want to see fast gains. So obviously having it on certain key exchanges, for example, Bittrex, Poloniex, you have Bitfinex, it's always based, ICOs are always based on how much they can raise. So how much are you guys going to be planning to raise in this ICO? And then at the same time, after you have raised that amount, what is going to be the key plan to at least provide a series of news that can actually get the market excited? That's the most important thing. I think everyone wants to know that question, because the moment they buy and then they're holding onto the tokens and then it's going to be 5% per annum, not everyone's going to be that interested. But I'm interested, because we look at long-term investing. And at the end of the day, but we want to help also for sure, whether when people buying your tokens during the ICO period, is there something for them to look forward to? Because other than the monthly, and because at the moment now, if you don't have that many customers, then I would say that the monthly is questionable. It's an uncertain thing, right? Just like the market. So how many exchanges will you all plan to be on? And how much are you going to plan to raise during this ICO?
So all I will say in terms of exchanges is that we're in contact with a bunch of exchanges now. No exchange, and unless you've got serious, no exchange will agree to list a coin before the ICO is taking place. So it depends to a certain extent on the success of the coin itself.
That's right.
What I will say is that we, from a technical perspective, as an asset chain of Komodo, the technical aspect is the fact that it's very easy to implement on certain exchanges, notably those on which Komodo has been integrated. It takes half of the work away, right? But I will not say I'm not giving any. I'm not telling. I can't say for the moment which exchanges will be on. But all I can say is that the process is very much in place.
Okay, and how much are you all intending to raise?
It would be unfair.
In terms of the ICO?
Yeah. The white paper states, so it's 10,000 Bitcoin is our hard cap.
Okay, so 10,000 Bitcoin, that works out to 7,100.
Yeah, $71 million.
So 71 million. So $71 million, and you guys are just a platform. Don't you find that that's a little bit on the high side? If you don't mind me saying, because if your team is currently very, very small, what will be the I mean, based on raising 71 million, what will the allocation of funds be like? So care to share a little bit about that?
So in terms of allocation of funds, there'll be a large amount going into development, notably. So continuing to develop the platform.
Sure.
15% will go into blockchain research and development. Now, the objective here, of course, anybody who is in fintech knows that blockchain is the future of fintech. That being said, it's complicated from both a technical and a sort of legal or regulatory perspective. All right. So Ripple have been in place for years. They've got a $10 million market cap. They want to replace Swift, but haven't even begun to put a dent in what they're trying to do. What we're trying to do is to be at the forefront, basically, of blockchain innovation. And the objective, of course, is to leverage our asset chain and then potentially other chains through blockchain interoperability in order to put in place things like why not KYC on the blockchain, to put in place global payments on the blockchain, to why not replace certain aspects of our platform in terms of how we do storage, using key value storage, right? So 15% is going into blockchain research and development. And then yeah, I mean it's a sort of equal sort of split.
What's the percentage to the token holders? What's the percentage in terms of allocation in terms of to the token holders?
So 70% is going to token holders.
70%, right? And so basically the founders come initial seeders will be roughly only 15%.
Yeah, so 20% for the initial team. That being said, it's the long-term team. So it's not just the team that's here now, right? It's the long-term team. And vested over 3 years. So it's a small amount for the team that's here now, and then we make sure that we've got a lot of tokens in the future to be able to incentivize people moving forward.
Can I put a word on that one? We are just not inventing and reinventing banking and blockchain. We are also reinventing the company, the society that we're living in. We are trying to put in place what we call a flat salary model in the company. Okay, that everyone in the company, me included, everyone in the company is going to touch the same amount. Okay, and that's quite audacious to do that, because in the society where we're living, often the top guys, the CEO, whatever, takes a big part of the cake and then gives the smaller amounts to the bottom guys. So in that sense, we know we're going to put a flat salary in our, in the company. And if tomorrow, if we want to get someone really good in our company, okay, and we want him to have the same mentality like we are, flat salary, if he's the top guy, I don't think so he'll agree to our flat salary.
Right.
Okay.
Of course.
But we can give him those tokens that we put aside to show that, okay, you got a tokens, but please do respect this social thing that we're doing in the company, that everyone got to be in the same level. So in that way, we can get top guys coming to us because of what we're doing, because we can also offer them something in exchange of keeping the same spirit in terms of salary.
Okay. So
that's a long-term view.
Sure. And there is a question here from Michael G. Could you tell us more about what you need to accomplish to be present in the USA, and even a rough estimated timeline? So I know it's a difficult question because there are regulatory implications, and it's not that easy to penetrate the US, especially when you talk about banking and So feel free to answer that question.
Okay. In terms of banking, we are so lucky to have partners who are already pushing us to go to the US. Banking licensed partners who already got licensed partners.
Right.
Okay. We do not have one partner. We've got 3 partners pushing us to go to the US. So we already got licensed partner pushing us to go to the US.
Are there going to be any obstacles? I mean, because since you mentioned that you're already having the partner that has the license, it shouldn't be an issue for you guys, right? To actually expand.
It's very important.
All, right?
It's very important for people to realize that we're not a bank ourselves, right? We are not a bank.
That's right.
We're a technology
You're
provider.
providing technology and at the same time banking solutions, but you're not a bank, right?
We do not want to be a bank. We are reinventing the bank.
That's right.
Okay, so that makes us really different, and we are going to do the same thing in the US, and our card holders will have the front part of the card will be the same, and the back part of the card they can see the banking license partner we're working with.
Okay. Yep.
So in every country where we're going to, all the credit cards look the same, your app looks the same, your interfaces look the same, everything looks the same. Just behind, there's just the banking partner we're working with.
Right. So are these banking partners listed somewhere, or we are unable to review them at this current juncture because of NDA?
No, it's not even a question of an NDA. We've got Wavecrest pushing us to go to US.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, these are questions that basically we need to know, because when you say partners, we need to know the US partners. It's okay to be transparent. Okay, sure.
We've got Wavecrest pushing us to go to US. We've got Bangkok, one of the biggest in the US, who was working with Simple, that got bought off by BBVA in the US. Okay, who just gave away their their Bangkok license and took their BBVA license in the US. So Bangkok, there's Silicon Valley Bank, there's few banks there's a Metropolitan Bank that's offering license. So we've got already few partners that we're talking with, and people are already interested in what we're doing because they understand the philosophy we have, especially the platform thing that we're talking to everyone. So they're so interested in joining in because we're going to share revenues.
For sure.
So the more clients we have, the more money they're going to make.
For sure.
So they're all opening their doors in a natural way.
Nice. Okay. So that's all the time that we have for you now. And guys, any last words before we close off the stream? Robert?
Please join us for our token sale. We'd love to have you on board.
Nice. And Vincent?
Vincent just needs all your efforts, all your encouragement, okay, to push us further.
All right, guys. So you heard it from the Monaize team, Vincent and Robert. Thank you so much for watching. And here we end off the stream. Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Thanks
for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.